That's right.
Awesome. Didgeridoo.
Yeah, this is one of my oldest possessions,
Oh wow.
and it's a didgeridoo I got while I was in Marlborough College. I had it shipped
Yeah.
from Australia.
Oh, cool.
Spent all my money on it.
At that time,
It
yeah.
was a foolish move that I'm really happy that I made.
Perfect.
Yeah. Good morning.
Good morning.
Happy Father's Day.
Happy Father's Day to you and all our listeners today.
All the listeners who are fathers or who have fathers.
Yep.
Cool. You got any sweet Father's Day plans, Curtis?
Yeah, I'm gonna fill our pool I built yesterday. We have a four, was it 15-inch round and like I think it's 42 inches tall.
Yep.
We bought it last summer, and the first time I put it together, I didn't realize how big it was. So I had
It,
to take apart one of my other structures I had in the back. It was too small to fit in the space, so I take that down yesterday, clean all the concrete up, take all the
yeah.
bolts out, and I did all that yesterday and put the pool together. So I'll probably start filling it today. But I got to vacuum all the dirt off the bottom first because there's like dirt fell into it. So I'll use my shop vac, clean that up, and start filling it up.
Sounds like a get shit done Father's Day, Curtis.
It is.
You're like, I got a project I'm working on.
That's right.
Right?
No, my daughter's super stoked about getting in the pool, so
That's
should be
great.
good. Yep.
That's great. Cool. Cool. Um, we have a diner out here that
Yep.
has been around, since the dawn of time, and they just moved locations after being in the same location for like
Wow.
35 years or something. Yeah, it's small town, super small town diner,
Yep.
right? And they moved across the street where there was a really nice fancy restaurant that
Oh yeah.
ultimately went out of business, right?
Oh,
And so they upgraded their facility, but so that this really nice fancy, like, beautiful high-end restaurant, but
yep.
it's all diner,
Oh,
like through
interesting.
and through. So and diner prices too, so it's a very interesting place. Anyway, we're going to meet my dad there in a few
Okay.
hours. Few hours
Sounds
for
interesting.
lunch.
Would be your
Um,
first time going there then today?
no, no, no. I've been there since the move.
Okay. Right, right.
Yeah, yeah.
Good.
Yeah. It's only one town away, so it's great. So gonna pick up my kids in a little bit and
Yep.
then head up there with my dad. So
Fantastic.
pretty stoked. And then yesterday did a road trip where I drove from Vermont up to where my dad lives in New Hampshire,
Yep.
and then from where he lives down south to Camping World
Oh,
because he's thinking about selling his
camper.
camper. And
Yep.
so and then drove back to where he lives and then drove back to my house. So I was
Oh
doing the
wow.
New England shuffle yesterday.
It's quite the
Um,
drive.
yeah, yeah, but it was cool. It's
Very
gonna
cool.
get to spend 2 days in a row, with my dad, which is rare.
Right.
Um, so sweet. Well, Curtis, I had as the show was getting going and I was typing up the
Yep.
description and thinking about your question, thinking about Father's Day, I had a very interesting thought
What's that?
um that maybe we should discuss about checklists. Checklists. But,
Checklist?
but before we talk about checklists,
Yep.
let's talk about the didgeridoo.
Okay.
Now, I mean, do you have much exposure to the didgeridoo?
I've just seen people play it. I had a friend when I lived in Vancouver. He played it, so it was kind of cool. Go to the beach
Cool.
and he would have it going, playing it, whatever. It was
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, the didgeridoo is the only instrument that I play with any degree of proficiency. I learned how to play it when I was 19 years old, and I've kept playing it every year since, sometimes more, sometimes less.
Yep.
It's an amazing instrument. So you just heard it at the beginning of the show.
Yep.
Actually, we have a bunch of viewers on right now.
Yep.
Check this out, guys.
Awesome.
So that's the didgeridoo.
Yep.
And it is an interesting instrument because it's a drone instrument.
Yep.
It is the world's second oldest known instrument,
Oh, wow.
dating back over 80,000 years. They
Wow.
found didgeridoos that they're made generally, like traditionally, they're made out of eucalyptus
Okay.
that has been eaten out by termites naturally.
Hmm.
Okay, so the Aborigines found these hollow trees,
Yep.
and then they discovered that you could play them and your lips act like the reed that produces the tone.
Yep.
And the length of the didgeridoo produces the note.
Yep.
And then all the sound texture that happens in between is as a result of the shape and the material and so on of the didge and the player, of course.
Yep.
And so the didgeridoo is used in Australian Aboriginal culture not only to make wonderful music,
Yep.
but also to help aid as a sonic bridge between the physical world that we live in
Yep.
and what lies beyond the physical, the energetic world, the spiritual world, the place where all creation comes from. It's like the dust that existed before the universe that was created. It's like what is everything actually made of? Where does it actually come from? And that is called the dream time. The dream. And so interestingly, the didgeridoo is an instrument that allows us to go from the physical world and move into or gain access to some level of awareness of the dream time, much as hypnosis helps us go from the waking world and bridge the gap into the sleeping world as well. So it's very similar.
Oh, neat.
And I've been thinking about, I haven't been playing the didge much in the last year or two, and I've been thinking a lot about it lately for a few different reasons. And so I thought I'd open today's show with a little didgeridoo action.
Pretty cool. It's pretty neat. I didn't know that story behind that, how it was created. It's kind of cool. And it was that old.
Yeah, super
Amazing.
old, and so we got some comments coming in. Oh, we got Lori from Happy Father's Day. Curtis, you might need to like sit up straighter or something.
Get closer, perhaps.
We got Linda saying, "Yo, what's up, Linda? Welcome. Sup." I totally can't pronounce your name, so I'm sorry. Salome, what's up? We got Hinge coming in saying, "Monkey." What's up, Hinge? Monkey right back at you. And we got Lori. Oh, sorry, Curtis. You just completely got covered by Lori's comment.
Yep.
All right, here's what Lori has to say. I used to celebrate Mother's and Father's Day each year since I had both roles for a long time. I did a TikTok live yesterday to honor a father alive from Deerfield Beach. There are huge father groups on TikTok, and Curtis should go live on TikTok in that niche. I'm finding even without a big following, I'm getting 140 to 238 viewers, and TikTok has great opportunities if you broadcast around 32 minutes. And I said, why not? What's up, Lori? Good morning. Hinge is back with us saying, Monkey. Hinge really wants to make sure that we hear his monkey. So, monkey message heard, Hinge, loud and clear, front and center. Lori says, oop, wait, no, don't do that. I don't want to add Lori to the block list. Sorry, Lori, I don't think I added you to the block list, but almost. I like what you're doing and that you're working so hard. Awesome,
Thanks.
Lori. Thank you. Awesome. All right. So, Curtis,
Yep.
I hear people say things like, I don't know what my dad wants.
Yep.
Dads are hard to buy for. They have everything that they need. Or, yeah, we do need more viewers. That's absolutely true. Guys, if you like the Get Shit Done show, then
Mm-hmm.
share
Share it.
this video right now, this very second, with everyone that's important to you. Share this video with a father. Share this
Yep.
video with a father. Like, subscribe, comment, interact. We'd love to hear you.
Perfect.
We'll ask a question here. What's your father's name? What's your father's name? My father's name is Rolf.
Harry.
Harry. My middle name is Harold. Fascinating. Cool. So, what do fathers, I mean, Curtis, for
Yeah.
you, like, what do you want for Father's Day?
I just spend time with the family, my daughter and my wife. Probably go swimming in our pool for a bit today. Um, a few years ago, we would to go to the Rib Fest that was usually on Father's Day, so that's fun.
You want to
They
hang
just
out and eat food.
Yeah, but this I found was more too expensive now, so
Oh, well,
like I don't know, I just think it's ridiculous. But I can buy ribs for cheaper than
that's
buy
right.
eating
Well,
them.
hey,
So.
make some,
Yep, yeah, have a good barbecue. I know how to do it, so marinate them a bit. And delicious.
I was gonna say something similar. Is like experiences are great. I'm hoping to be met with enthusiasm when I ask my kids to go hike the local mountain after we finish eating.
Yeah,
I'm hoping there's going to be enthusiasm there, but I'm going to try to not force my agenda
yeah,
and go with the flow, as they say. So
nice.
we'll see how that goes. Um, but then I was like, experiences, yeah, that's true. But then I was thinking, but cheese is always good,
Yeah.
right? We'll probably end up making some nachos or something like that later.
Mm,
Maybe we'll catch a movie. I'm not quite sure.
right. Cool.
But yeah, I think spending time and interacting, and being present with each other,
Yep, it's
that's like
important.
the best. It's
Yep,
the best.
for sure.
So, Curtis, you had a question you wanted to address today.
Yeah. It's just the question of time. Is it like I don't have enough time to do this or that? Is it just an excuse we use, or is there a way to maybe change our mindset of saying, "Hey, I can find the time to do A or B or whatever you're doing." So sometimes like, oh, I don't have enough time for this, but are we just like making it an excuse, or are we just like being procrastinating? Do you know what I mean?
Well, I mean, look, the reality is nobody on this planet has enough time for everything that one could do
Yep.
at any given moment. Right now, we're doing the Get Shit Done show, but we could
Right.
be playing frisbee with our kids. We're
Right.
not. We're doing the Get Shit Done show. Does that mean
Yep.
we're neglecting our kids? No. But if you never play frisbee with your kids, then you can get into
Could
trouble,
be. Yeah.
right? And so it's
Yep.
like there are competing priorities,
Yes.
and we have a lot of stuff that we we can prioritize and we can spend our time doing. Here's what I think.
Yep.
I'm 48, but like you and I have the same amount of time in the day.
Yep.
You know,
24 hours.
we all do, right? At the
Or
end,
minus the sleep time.
and we have no idea how many more days we have left.
Right.
Could be the last one today. We don't know.
True.
So, what are you spending your time on? And is it what you really care about the most? That's the most, or need to care about the most.
Yep.
right? And so sleep, right? You don't
Yep.
get enough sleep, you're going to be a miserable human being. You're probably going to get sick all the time. You're going to be
Yep.
super stressed and grumpy, and no one's going to want to spend time with you anyway. So you got to
That's
get
right.
some sleep.
Yep.
Most of us need to have enough money to survive with our families.
Yep.
So
For sure.
you either need to already have that money, or you need to be making that money. So
Right.
there's an amount of time that you need to set aside to make as much money as you're making in the amount of time that you're working,
Yep.
right? So whether that's 40 hours a week plus a commute, or more or less,
Yep.
it is what it is right now. Obviously, you've got to eat,
Yep.
personal hygiene,
Yep.
right? You know, so they're all the kind of the basics, but there are, when you spend a bunch of time just doing things mindlessly,
Yep.
without care and without presence and attention,
Hmm.
then the time is basically wasted.
Yeah.
And so, and and whatever you're working toward or trying to do, there are a million different ways to do it.
Yep.
And so saying, oh, I don't have the time, is also saying, oh, I'm not willing to put in any energy into solving the problem a different way,
Right.
or to work on it consistently over time, like over a longer period of time, by
Hmm.
like dedicating time to it every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for
Right.
45 minutes
Yep.
or whatever, So what's, like, to get really into the trenches with you on this, Curtis,
Yeah.
what actually is the task that you're talking about right now?
Just finding
Let's make
time.
it practical, not general.
Okay. So finding time to get my shorts scheduled on time, because I try to do it on Sundays, but sometimes I do this podcast, another podcast, and some I do a third one for my hardworking parents. And then some days I just find I don't have, like on a Sunday, I don't have that moment to do it. And then Monday rolls around. It's like, oh, I'll do it in the morning, and then I'm doing something else, and then other things just seem to come up. So it's like more like I know what I need to do, but then things just push it around a little bit. And then by the time sometimes I get to it, it'll be like Tuesday or Wednesday.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
dude.
So
So
it's, yeah,
so it's interesting that you bring this one up. So
yep,
I'm not doing shorts either,
yeah,
and I'm suffering tremendously as a result.
right,
Like, I only do the lives,
yep,
and I never take the time to run it through Opus
yep,
and publish the freaking shorts. It's like a 15-minute thing.
yep,
It does not take a lot of time,
yep,
and it would explode my TikTok viewership. I
hmm,
am fully aware of this.
yeah,
I'm 100 and freaking 66 episodes. I'm half a year in, and I know I need to do this thing, but I'm not doing it.
hmm,
Total self-sabotage.
yep,
Okay, it's like you're not it's like you're not pulling, doing the final thing that's going to make the whole machine really work. And in this case, the one that you brought up,
yep,
I'm doing the same stupid thing. Now, I tell myself the story that I'm not good with routine and consistency. I tell
yeah,
myself the story that um blah 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 blah.
or you'll
The
do it
rea
later.
There are a million different ways to solve that problem. I
Yep,
could do it. I could hire somebody to do it. I could probably hire you to do it, and you
yep,
probably do it,
yep,
even though you're not doing it for yourself. I mean, there are so many ways to solve that problem. It's stupid.
yep,
Okay, but this is a I'm I could very easily have just focused on you and not admitted that I have the same
yep,
problem. This
uh-huh,
is a real type of problem that people have, that I,
absolutely.
as a hypnotist, I see over and over and over again. People might say that this is a manifestation of a block, right?
Hmm.
You could say it's self-sabotage. You could say it's, you holding yourself back. There are a lot of different ways you could talk about this. Um, I think that you're So another way we could, so just for example,
Yep,
we both have the same problem. At some level, we both know we have the same problem because
yep,
neither one of us are seeing each other's shorts all the time,
no,
right? So we could be accountability partners and have a Tellman Curtis work party where the only thing that we do is publish shorts
Yep.
and schedule them.
Yep.
As like there's and it would cost
That's a
us
solution.
nothing
Yep.
except a scheduled meeting, which we both show up to scheduled meetings.
Yep.
Right? Like some
Yep.
people don't, we both do, right?
Yep.
So we could say that here's another example,
Okay.
Curtis.
Yep.
So like let's say that we're in a slightly parallel universe or something, and you and I were doing the Get Shit Done show together every day, for
Yep.
example, right? Well, at the end of the Get Shit Done show, we could make a commitment
Mm-hmm.
to stay on Zoom together
Yep.
for 15 minutes
To get that done.
and take the video recording and both individually run it through our short creation process, because we'd end up with different shorts anyway. They
Yeah, you
look
would.
they're
Yep.
different videos, but they
Yep.
would all be promoting the same show that we just recorded.
Yep.
So it's just setting up some level of accountability and you not being a wuss, just taking freaking responsibility for leading it and
Yep.
make like whether you're scheduling it in with yourself, scheduling it in with someone else, put it on the freaking calendar. And if you
Yep.
don't do it when you put it on the calendar, then get an accountability partner and or build an accountability team and start a short clipping work party or whatever,
Yep.
like there's a million different, and
Lots of
you're already a
solutions.
member of enough Facebook groups and school groups that you could start your own 45-minute or so this is a really good exercise, Curtis.
Okay.
So you could, so without me being even part of it, you could start your own weekly, daily, every 3 days, whatever Zoom that lasts 30 minutes, because you can do a free Zoom for 45 minutes,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
And you could invite people from the various Facebook groups and school groups that you're in who do shorts, or, and like, or doing some level of publishing short form video, which
Yep.
every social media platform, there are tons of groups on this topic,
Right.
tons, and they're all trying to learn from each other.
Yep.
And so you could just hey, maybe you and I should do this together, start a work party focused on that one thing. And
Okay.
it's like, okay guys, we do 5 minutes of high, we do 15 minutes of getting it done, because that's how long it takes,
Yep.
and then we say goodbye.
Yep. Publish it. You're on your way. Perfect.
And it's cool because it's like it's this one activity that tons of people procrastinate on,
Mm-hmm.
yet is also currently the most effective social media
Delivery of some sort, I guess you could say.
post type. I don't
Yep.
know, whatever. That like the 30-second video, right? It's a micro commercial. Like
Yep.
that's the thing, right? So that's interesting that okay, so Curtis,
Yep.
this comes back around to checklists.
Okay.
So you want to grow your business. There's tons of stuff that you could be doing. There's
Yep.
the stuff that you're aware of where
Yep.
you have consciousness around it, but there's like so much stuff that your brain is aware of that it's hiding from you
Yes.
because because it wants you to stay the same. It wants you to
Yeah.
stay safe. It wants you to stay in line, right? So there's so much stuff that you've learned, that you've heard, even thoughts that you've had,
Mm-hmm.
that your brain like locks away into deep storage. And it's like, forget I even exist, right? And so you're like in this little world, right?
Yep.
Like going you're like seeing very few options.
Mm-hmm.
One of the options that you see is following through on scheduling your shorts after you do a live stream.
Yep.
And so you do have the time. How
Oh
long
yeah.
does how long does it actually take to upload a live, to go through the process from beginning to end, take your video that's already done and spit it out as shorts?
Well, I'm using a program called Reap, so it takes about 15 minutes to upload generally. So I'll go do something else. I'll come back. That's sometimes where I have a problem. I won't come back early enough. But on that platform, I can schedule to YouTube and Instagram right away, right on the platform. So I do that. And then I use another program, Metricool, to do the other channels I got.
So, like, what if you uploaded yesterday's video at the beginning of your live stream
Yeah, I could
today,
do that. Yeah.
right? And that way, that part is getting done in the background while you're live streaming.
Yep.
And how often are you live streaming?
Well, once a week for sure.
Great.
But that's twice on Sundays. The one with you, the
Yeah,
one
yeah,
on my
yeah, yeah.
own.
I
Yeah.
understand.
Yep.
So, but your own thing you're doing once a week,
Once a week. Yep.
and then we do get shit done on Sundays too.
Yep.
Yeah, and you have it set up so they're kind of like back to back.
Yep. That's
Yeah.
right.
So, like, what in addition to making shorts,
Yeah.
what's another action or activity that would absolutely grow your following if a half an hour was spent on it?
The interaction with other groups, I think you've mentioned that a few times, and that does work because when I was trying to find podcast people, I was in different podcast groups, and that really worked well. Trying to get
Okay.
people on different interviews,
Now,
but that became more time, very, very time consuming, I found.
you have a co-host, right?
Yes.
Okay. So I'd like you to think about actions that he could take
Oh, I didn't think
while
about
you're
that.
doing the shorts. So maybe you guys have half an hour set aside
Yep.
immediately following your live stream, perhaps.
Yep.
You and I would have to work out our times, blah,
Mm-hmm.
blah. But like, let's say you had a half hour set aside immediately after your live stream is done to take the file, upload it, turn it into shorts, get them published.
Yep.
What's another thing or multiple things that if you had a small team of people, you'd want them to immediately get to work on, like that would grow your channel? What are some
Item
examples?
email list. They got an email list and send that out that way.
So send an email out to the list to
Yep.
go and watch the live stream.
Yep.
Totally. What else?
Like you could probably schedule social posts because I know every Sunday I do it. So every Sunday I can say, "Hey, good morning," and or do it like Saturday during the daytime or evening, and then do it again in the morning. Say I'm going live on Facebook and YouTube. Have like, or I think YouTube you can now have it set up where you can get people to a link where they actually have where you go live.
Oh, hold on.
So you know how you have a Zoom webinar type idea?
Yeah.
You can schedule it for that time. Well, YouTube has something. I don't know how people do it. I haven't really looked into it,
Right.
but they can actually have a link say, "Hey, I'm doing my live at this time on YouTube. Join me here."
Yeah, like a scheduled
Yeah,
YouTube event.
yeah, and then people can
Cool.
just go there. So that could be another idea.
So like set it up for next week.
Yep,
Yep, totally. So and like whether it's a Facebook event
yep,
or maybe it's called a YouTube event. I think I've seen that too, but I
yeah,
also haven't played with it.
yep,
Absolutely, right? Another thing that could be done, so sending an email out to the list to go watch the show that just finished.
yep,
Scheduling in events for the next thing. On YouTube, there are a whole bunch of videos that are like the 12 things to do after you've uploaded your YouTube video,
uh-huh,
the 17 things to do to maximize your channel after your video's done, right?
mm-hmm,
And so in this case, we're doing a live stream, and I know
yep,
for a fact that the way that all the different social channels treat live streams is different than the way that they treat uploaded videos.
yep,
And each platform is different in the way that they treat all these different media types.
right,
And so they're all different and they're all changing, right? So you can never really know. But one thing I do know is that there's a crap load of post-production work that if you do it, you're going to get found a lot more on YouTube. And you can just
right,
watch what to do after you finish uploading your YouTube video to maximize viewers or whatever. And you'll have days of videos to watch with, strangely enough, checklists.
yep,
And so that comes back down to this checklist idea that I was going to bring up with you, Curtis.
yep,
So so that would be super valuable.
yep,
Sending an email to the list and doing like the 12 things that you need to do to make a video sing after the video's uploaded.
yep,
Those two types of checklists would be killer. And so, or two things would be killer that
yep.
would really improve things
Boost.
for you
Yep,
guys.
yep,
So whether you're in charge of doing the shorts, or whether you're in charge of sending the email, or whether you're in charge of setting up the events, it'd be good for you and your co-host to be exceptionally proficient in doing both,
Right.
doing all, right?
Yep.
Like, so that you both can do either one with zero hesitation, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I was wondering, I mean, since I've known you, you've basically had two primary types of jobs and occasionally side jobs going
Yep.
on. You
Yeah.
used to install windows in homes and businesses, right?
Right.
And now you install glass and windshields in cars.
That's right.
And I suspect, and I don't know this for sure because I've never done either one of those jobs, but it sounds like you work in like there's an operation, there's an order of events, there's a
Yep.
sequence of events, and I'm guessing there are some very specific SOPs. Like,
Yep.
you have to do these because you're dealing with heavy, expensive, breakable glass that if it's
Mm-hmm.
installed wrong could kill somebody, right? Like,
Oh, or it's more like for the car for the airbag stuff is the issue.
oh, okay. Well, I mean, it's
Yeah.
important that
Yep.
it's done right
It's
in
a
both,
safety.
whether you're
Yep.
installing a window in a house or a windshield in a car, like you want that thing to be solid,
Right.
you know? Um, and so I'm where you work, are there like a series of checklists or a series of, things that you have
Oh
to
yeah.
do in a certain
Yeah. I
order?
think most of it's just known. We just know how to do it from just being trained a certain way. And yeah, they do have a checklist on how to do the windows or a certain way. They do have a checklist, but you've learned it over like when you first get training. You take 8 weeks of training and you just learn it, so it's like in your head, so you
Through
never have to think about it.
repetition,
Yeah. So you just know
right?
the car comes in, you do this A, B, C, D, E, F, G, whatever, right? And you do
It's
it
part of the
every single time.
process.
Yeah.
Part of the
Yep.
process.
Yep.
Okay. So the answer to your question about I don't have time is you haven't made it part of the process.
That's right. All right.
You haven't made it one of
Perfect.
the items on your daily marketing or weekly marketing checklist.
Yep.
And so I think that actually might be part of the root of your problem, Curtis,
Yes, I think he probably hit that one pretty good there.
is that I don't think that you've ever really developed like your own personal marketing SOP, like your way of doing things on a consistent basis. It seems like when you have that consistency in your life, you kick ass.
Yep.
Like
You're
when the
right.
system is outlined, it's clear, it's detailed,
Yep.
it's like you know what to do next, and how everything's going to fit together, that
Hmm.
you can go in and dominate. But then when that's not set up, you have a real hard time knowing what
What?
your next move
Yeah,
is.
exactly. Yeah,
Is
totally.
that true?
Yeah, it is. I just find that sometimes I should do this or should do that, and I hum and haw about stuff, and then I end up doing nothing. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Or very little of what I should be doing.
So this is the value of joining generally speaking a $2,000 to $10,000 coaching, like group coaching
Yep.
program, mentoring program. Sometimes they're higher end, sometimes they're more
Right.
in the 25 grand range these
Wow.
days.
Yep.
But like basically the more you have to make sure you're going with somebody that's reputable and who knows what they're doing, and that
Yep.
it's the system or the solution that's truly right for you in your business.
Hmm.
That's on you. But
Yep.
assuming all those things are true, the more money you spend, the more complex and the more detailed the blueprint is that you're going to get, the system is that you're going to get to follow, right?
Right. Right.
And it's going to give you all the pieces. It's going to give you the full system. It's going to give you the full process. And like, when and there's time there too,
Right.
is generally speaking, the greater the investment, the longer the period of time is that you're going to be working with the teacher, the mentor, the guru, or who's ever training you.
Yeah.
And you're going to get that many weeks, often like a 25,000, 35,000 might be a year-long program, right? Many weeks of repetition. And so right now, you're not following a specific blueprint. You're kind of like, at this point, you're kind of feeling it out as you go, right?
Yeah. If I know I can do something, I'll just do it. And if I forget, then I don't do it. Or I say, oh, I'll do it later, and I forget about it, then I won't do it. But if it's written down, I would definitely get it done. More so, like, you know
Okay.
how you have a to-do list?
Yeah.
Like, I
So
did a
so
to-do list yesterday, and I pretty much finished it off by the end of the day.
so what I'd like you to do is start with a weekly to-do list for your business. Okay?
Yep.
And then you can either break it down and create daily to-do lists. Some of those things will be repeated on a daily basis. Some of them will be repeated on a weekly basis or every few days, But basically, I want you to start with your best shot at creating the weekly to-do list of what you need to do every week, or someone in your organization needs to do right now. You and your co-host
Yeah.
need to do every week in order to grow the business and get it profitable. Just make that to-do list and do it in a Google Doc, and please share it with me, and we'll talk
Sure.
about it on our next episode.
All right, will do. I'll get that done as soon
And
as I'm
what we
done.
want to do is we want to get it down to a process. Hopefully we get it down to a process that you're able to do something like repeat every day instead of it being every week. And yeah, maybe this is something you'll do on your own. Maybe this is something you'll do with your co-host. Maybe this is something we'll do together. I don't know how it's all going to turn out.
Yeah,
But
figure it.
you getting a daily system and a daily process in place, I think is going to, to grow. I think,
Yeah.
it's basically a training schedule. Think about it that way, right? Back to fitness.
Yeah.
Really think about it as, it might not be the same thing 7 days a week. It's, it could be leg day, back day, right? Like,
Right.
arm day, whatever. And do a rotation like that. Yeah. So we'll think about that. And yeah, I would really encourage you to say, well, what are those checklists that I can
Yep.
currently see that time aside, like however much time it takes is however much time it takes, but what do I see that really needs to be done every week in order for us to grow this business?
Right. Sounds good. So I'll do it right after this. I won't forget. I wrote it down.
That's right. That's right. The other thing is you just did your episode for the week for your parenting podcast.
Yeah. I've already uploaded it before I got on here.
Awesome. So it's 9:52 Eastern.
Yep.
When are you going to do your shorts?
As soon as they're uploaded, I will just distribute them after. That's all I got to do. So I'll do YouTube and Instagram.
Great. And so you're going to do it immediately after we're done with this episode?
Yep. So by 11 o'clock, I'll be done. Or
Great.
before
And
11.
then just with the checklist, do a quick brainstorm, bang out as many as you can.
Yep.
And this is important. Write them yourself. Don't chat GPT them.
Okay.
This needs to come from your brain. You need to have like some like personal ownership over the items.
Okay.
Versus just like brainstorming a list. You have to, have your brain do the work.
All right.
Very important. And yeah, and then just add to it throughout the week as you and have your co-host look at it and add to it, right?
Yep.
And it's easy to take things off the list.
Right.
But you might end up having like the core things that you need to do and the would be nice things. You can break it up however you want.
Okay.
But really having 50 items in front of you that should be getting done every week, or 100 items in front of you that should be getting done every week is like, it'll actually get you somewhere if you do it.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
Cool.
Excellent.
Rock and roll, man. Well, I hope you have a happy Father's Day.
You too, Tellman.
And thanks for being an awesome Get Shit Done co-host. You've done so many
Excellent.
episodes.
Yep.
It's
Every Sunday.
great.
Fantastic.
Yeah. Cool.
Awesome.
We got a
A couple comments there.
comment in from Debbie. So Lori's gonna jump in on that action, so that's cool. And then Debbie says, "I'm sorry we didn't connect. I'm not that tech savvy. I was trying to figure everything out. Anyway, it's fun to watch others who made it through. Been a fan of yours for years. What you're doing is awesome. Awesome, Debbie. I'm glad you're enjoying the show. Good to see you.
Excellent.
Thanks for commenting and tuning in. I hope you have a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you all tomorrow.
Yep.
Tomorrow for the Get Shit Done show.
Awesome.
All right, Curtis. Thanks so much.
Thanks, guys. Have a good night.